All right, so welcome back here to the Winter Fancy Food Show. We continue our coverage, and of course, we love to talk about technology. I've got Megan Mokri of Byte. So great to have you.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, so Byte for retail technology for the workplace.
Yes.
Kind of a little bit of a different focus on where technology is going in food service.
Yes.
And in food in general.
Yes.
Tell us what Byte does.
So we enable food companies of any size to sell their products anytime, anywhere, through unattended stores. And these unattended stores are very small footprint in nature.
Right.
And so they're meant to be embedded where consumers are spending time away from home, at work, in universities, hospitals, hotels, airports, you name it.
Yeah. So Megan, when you look at different different food suppliers, whether it's a specialty food company that's selling a snack, or maybe it's a fresh salad company, somebody that like a retail food service operation, would they also be applicable to this?
Absolutely.
So they could give you prepackaged goods into the retail system, and it would go into your somewhat of a kiosk.
Yeah, so there's three different customer sets that we typically work with.
Okay.
There's the usual suspects, so vending operators.
Right.
There's food service companies. But the fastest growing segment is what we call retail. So whether it be your traditional brick and mortar restaurant that has a grab and go line, or a e-commerce player that's doing direct to consumer, subscription delivery. And grocery is also a pretty quickly growing segment for us as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of flipping this model on its head of let's rethink retail and how you can actually embed your products where consumers are already spending time.
Is most of the interactions with customers enabled via an app of some sort, or is it done right there at the unit?
It's right there at the unit.
So you walk up, you put a credit card in it.
Exactly.
And you're off and running. Do you have plans for app enabled?
Yes, we've betaed an app. To date, we've really focused on the most frictionless user experience possible.
Right.
So we've got almost 1,000 locations across the U.S. at this point.
That's
so
great.
Serving a wide variety of demographics.
What's the footprint of one of these things?
Oh gosh, it's this big by this big. 2 feet by 2 feet?
So how
Very
much
small.
inventory can it hold?
It depends what is being sold. So the shelving is very flexible. So you could put a whole row of drinks. That's going to hold a higher quantity of products. Or if you're doing, salads and sandwiches and whatnot. If for the client that's taking a well-rounded approach of snacks, drinks, salads, wraps, sandwiches,
right,
it's going to hold about 100 units of inventory if it's fully packed.
Yeah. So with fresh food, because you guys are taking kind of a new approach here, with fresh products, how do you deal with maintaining that freshness in almost a kiosk environment?
Yeah.
What's the process there? How do you guys go about it?
That's why the data is critical. So historically, vending's not known for fresh product, right? Because intentionally so. That's the product that typically eliminates their profit margins. The Byte's platform provides the data that you need in order to actually sell fresh, perishable products.
So you're getting feedback from the machine all the time?
You're getting feedback from our clients. Get real-time inventory of what's in stock. They see what's selling. They see when their delivery drivers go out there what's actually being removed. They can get the level of detail of knowing how long, this specific salad sat in this specific fridge, which that data can be used to not only proactively adjust the assortment on a move-forward basis, but I'll give you an example. We just had Martin Luther King weekend, right? 3-day weekend. A lot of offices are closed.
Right.
And on a Friday afternoon, our clients can go in and see what inventory is likely to spoil, and they can proactively set a happy hour up to clear through that inventory.
Yeah. So if I were running it as a retailer, and maybe I've got a third party helping to provide product for it, or whatever it might be, I'm getting that data, and let's say that one of those items does go into the category of no longer sale date.
Yep.
Can I shut that machine down?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I can terminate. I can tell the machine, say, okay, there's 4 salads in there, but they're both past their date, or all of them are past their date. Shut down retail operation, even though it's sitting there right there looking as though it's sold. How would the customer get that feedback from the machine?
So it's called a remote lockdown. They can lock down the fridge and then display a message to the consumer that
product's not available.
Right, exactly.
Okay. All right.
It's argued
That's
from
good
a
for food safety
standpoint. It's pretty powerful because let's say there's a recall. You can go into our dashboard and see in real time, okay, this product that was just recalled is in these 10 stores. I'm going to lock all of those down.
Yeah. So are you guys regulated like restaurants are, where they have to go through food safety requirements and levels of certification and then also inspections?
So
how does that work for you?
We as a platform are not. We work pretty closely with NAMA, which is the National Automated Merchandising Association, basically the vending
Yeah, but they've never seen anybody like
industry
you.
group. They haven't. Well, they've worked pretty closely with both state and federal government in terms of helping craft guidelines for newer technologies like these. So working very closely with them in terms of automating lockdown when out of temperature. But to answer your question about how it's seen from a health perspective, it depends. It's county by county.
Okay.
Which is challenging, but with 1,000 units out there, we're operating in most major metros at this point.
Well, like on a restaurant, you know, the health inspector comes by and he checks you out and gives you a rating, and you're off and running, no big deal.
Yeah.
Would they not do that with your machine?
They'll visit machines. Typically what they'll look for temperature, they'll look for cleanliness, and
just basic, is it operational? You know, all the things that are there, the normal stuff you would think. Yeah. So that's cool. So food safety is on the front, kind of the front lines there, which I think is great. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the idea of AI. Yeah. So we're hearing AI use in manufacturing, in consumer interface, in food service. Yeah. Where do you see AI going with kind of the food service and business in general? Yeah,
it's a big question. AI, certainly, application across every major industry. I think the way we think about it is how it can be layered on top of the data that we're collecting to...
Hang on one second.
Yes.
Yep, it's on the AI. All right, so yeah, we had a couple of bumps.
No worries.
Are you ready? Stand ready to go? Okay. All right, so Megan, let's talk about AI, because we've seen AI in both food service, how consumers are interfacing with restaurant brands, food brands in general, even manufacturers here. How do you guys see AI impacting food service as a whole, or the food industry?
Yeah, I can speak to ourselves. AI certainly has applicability here, just given the breadth of data that we're collecting on a real-time basis. Layering AI in a way that makes that data actionable is really where our mind is going.
Right.
So for the companies that we work with, they're, for the most part, creating an entirely new distribution channel for their products. You know, you hear a lot about omni-channel. This is another channel that folds into that strategy. And so how do you surface actionable insights in terms of stocking levels, in terms of the breadth of products that are in stock in a hospital versus a workplace? So AI can play a role in taking that data and making it actionable and making our clients more successful.
That's going to be kind of that first layer. I know there's levels of artificial intelligence out there, you know, when you get to fully autonomous and those kind of things. Yeah. But in the basis of information, especially around data, I think now it's almost like machine learning in essence, where you're figuring out things that are happening based on patterns, and that's definitely going to be helping, especially in places like you. Let's talk, our last question is about trends, and that being consumer trends. Obviously, you're dealing with, you know, kind of these forward thinkers most of the time. They're thinking how to retail product differently. What are you seeing in trends around food today?
Speaking of the consumer, so I 6 years ago founded a meal delivery company, and that's really when we saw this consumer shift for convenient, fresh, health conscious, and that has driven just massive shifts. You look at the wave of meal kits, you look at the wave of third-party delivery platforms. 60% of restaurant orders are now consumed off-premise.
Right.
And then you also have workplaces understanding the impact of quality food on the health of their workforce and the culture of their workforce. And so we're kind of, those two trends were really the impetus behind, okay, if consumers want fresh, quality food and they want it conveniently, how do we actually deliver that where they're already spending time?
Yeah.
And so hence the unattended retail concept. Oh, and by the way, workplaces actually have a need as well.
I like it.
So it hits on a number of kind of trends.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of movement in obviously the health and wellness category, which is,
Yeah.
I think, is only going to help with, especially in categories like specialty food, where we've seen so much here at this show
Yeah.
around that. So that's
Yeah.
great that you guys are all over this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Megan, it's been great having you. Thanks for stopping in on the show
Thank
today.
you for having me.
All right. Okay, make sure and stay tuned right here for more coverage from the Winter Fancy Food Show. We'll catch you soon.